Welcome, friends, to a quiet space where we can explore the most profound and beautiful part of our lives, our connections with others. We're often told that relationships are built on grand gestures and dramatic moments. But what if the true foundation is something far more subtle, something hidden just beneath the surface? The truth is, the most enduring bonds are not forged in fire, but woven with invisible threads of psychology, small, almost imperceptible secrets of the human heart that, once understood, can transform how we love, how we communicate, and how we connect. Over the course of our time together, we are going to embark on a journey, exploring 30 ultimate psychological secrets that have the power to build not just good relationships, but truly lasting, soul-deep connections. These aren't just tips or tricks, they are timeless truths about our own nature and the nature of others. Think of this journey not as a lecture, but as a gentle walk through a beautiful forest. Each secret we uncover is like a hidden trail, leading to a deeper understanding of ourselves and those we hold dear. We'll learn why a simple pause can be more powerful than 1,000 words, how vulnerability is a key that unlocks trust, and why the art of listening is less about hearing and more about seeing. We'll uncover the incredible power of unspoken affirmation, the rhythm of reciprocity, and the serenity found in true acceptance. These are the tools that build bridges where there were once walls, and they'll help you navigate the intricate dance of human relationships with grace, wisdom, and a profound sense of purpose. Together, we'll discover how to create a tapestry of connection so strong and beautiful that it can withstand any storm. Get ready to not just change your relationships, but to change your very understanding of love itself. In the quiet of a forest, a still pond acts as a perfect mirror, not just reflecting the sky and the trees, but capturing the subtle movement of every leaf and the gentle ripple of every breeze. It doesn't judge the colors or the shapes. It simply receives what is there and holds it in its calm surface. This stillness, this ability to perfectly reflect the world without adding to it or taking from it, is the very essence of true listening. It's a passive act that creates an incredibly active and powerful effect, a clear and true image of reality. The pond doesn't demand that the trees be a different color or the sky be a different shape. It just presents them as they are. And in that presentation, it allows the observer to see the world with a profound new clarity and beauty. The pond becomes a witness to the entire ecosystem, holding space for everything that exists around it without interference. This natural phenomenon holds a profound truth for us as humans, particularly in our quest to build lasting connections. We often approach conversations not as still ponds, but as rushing rivers, eager to add our own currents, our own interpretations, and our own conclusions. We listen only to find a pause where we can insert our own stories, our own advice, or our own solutions. This is the struggle of human connection. We are so busy preparing our own response that we fail to truly receive the other person's message. We interrupt, we correct, we assume we know what they are going to say, and in doing so, we break the mirror. The other person feels not seen, but judged, not heard, but tolerated. The moment they realize their reflection is being distorted by a rushing river of thoughts, they retreat, pulling back their vulnerability and their willingness to share the deepest parts of themselves. The psychological secret to building lasting relationships lies in learning to become that still pond for another person. This is the practice of reflective listening. It's the simple yet transformative act of listening not to respond, but to understand. It means setting aside your own agenda, your own advice, and your own need to be right, and instead, reflecting back what you hear. It can be as simple as saying, "It sounds like you're feeling really frustrated about that." Or, "So what I'm hearing is that this situation made you feel undervalued." You are not offering a solution. You are offering a mirror. You are showing them, through your words, that you are truly seeing their inner world. Just as a pond perfectly reflects the world above it, you are confirming that their feelings and their experiences have been received, validated, and held in a safe space. When you practice this, you are giving one of the greatest gifts a person can receive, the gift of being truly seen and understood. The benefit of this is immediate and profound. When someone feels they are being reflected, they feel safe. This safety allows them to be more vulnerable, to share more openly, and to trust more deeply. The relationship begins to build on a foundation of genuine empathy and respect, where each person knows they have a calm and steady partner who will witness their truth without trying to change it. This is how intimacy grows, not from shared opinions, but from shared understanding. It creates a powerful feedback loop. The more they share, the more you reflect. The more you reflect, the more they trust. And the more they trust, the deeper your connection becomes. This is the silent, beautiful power of becoming a mirror in a world full of noise. Think of a canyon, carved over millennia by the relentless flow of water, its walls scarred and etched with the passage of time. A traveler stands on the rim and speaks a single word into the vast emptiness. The canyon does not absorb the sound and forget it. Instead, it catches the word, amplifies it, and sends it back as a profound, resounding echo. The canyon's openness, its exposed and weathered stone, is what allows this phenomenon to happen. It is not an act of strength or dominance, but a gentle, passive receptivity that transforms a single sound into a monumental chorus. It reveals the canyon's true nature, its depth, its scale, and its unique, intricate shape, not by its own voice, but by echoing the voice that was offered to it. For us, the walls we build around our hearts are like the sheer rock faces of that canyon. But often, they are not open and receptive. We build these walls to protect ourselves from hurt, disappointment, and judgment, believing that to expose our inner landscape, our fears, our insecurities, our deepest longings is a sign of weakness. We have been taught, either explicitly or implicitly, that vulnerability is a liability, a chink in our armor that others might exploit. This is one of the most powerful and self-sabotaging myths of human connection. We stand at the edge of our relationships, longing to be known and understood, but we are too afraid to speak our truth. We present a polished, invulnerable version of ourselves, hoping to be loved. But in doing so, we prevent others from ever truly seeing us. We are, in effect, asking to be loved for a mask, not for the person behind it. And this creates a profound and isolating loneliness. The psychological secret is that vulnerability is not a weakness. It is an invitation. It is the single word spoken into the canyon of another person's heart when you choose to share a fear, an insecurity, or a past pain. You are not simply revealing a part of yourself. You are, like the traveler, testing the landscape of the other person's soul. You are saying, "This is me. Can you receive this? Can you hold this part of my story with care? And just as the canyon responds with an echo, a true connection will respond with an echo of its own, a reciprocal act of vulnerability, a shared moment of empathy, or a gentle acknowledgement that says, I see you, I hear you, and I have parts of my own story to share. This is the moment when a relationship transforms from two separate individuals coexisting into two souls truly connecting. The benefit of this is a powerful and transformative emotional resonance. When you are brave enough to be vulnerable, you give the other person permission to be vulnerable in return. You create a safe space where they can echo your honesty with their own. And in that shared space, trust is forged like steel. This isn't about oversharing or trauma dumping. It's about intentional, authentic moments of self-revelation that build a bridge between two people. When you see someone's imperfections and they see yours, you both realize you're not alone in your struggles. This shared understanding creates a bond far deeper than any surface-level compatibility. It is the recognition that you are both imperfect, fragile, and human, and that you have chosen to walk side by side in your shared brokenness and your shared hope. It is in this echo of vulnerability that the most profound and lasting relationships are built. The natural world is full of playful encounters, a silent language that transcends species and purpose. Watch two lion cubs tumbling in a sun-drenched field, their mock battles building strength and coordination, or a pod of dolphins leaping and splashing in the ocean, a seemingly purposeless dance that strengthens their social bonds. This is not a frivolous waste of energy. It's a fundamental part of their development and their social cohesion. Play is a space of pure presence, free from the heavy weight of survival and responsibility. It is in these moments of carefree interaction that animals learn to trust, to communicate without aggression, and to build a sense of shared identity and belonging. Laughter and play are the universal signals that say, I am not a threat, I am a friend. Let's create something joyful together. This shared experience of lightheartedness is a powerful, non-verbal affirmation of connection. Human beings, however, often lose this instinct. As we grow older, the world demands more seriousness from us. We become burdened by our responsibilities, our to-do lists, and the silent pressures to be productive and mature. We begin to view laughter and play as childish, a luxury we can no longer afford. We relegate these moments to special occasions or vacations, forgetting that they are the very lifeblood of a healthy, thriving relationship. We can sit across from a partner at a dinner table and have a perfectly serious conversation about finances, work, or the kids, but without the counterpoint of shared laughter and lightheartedness. The connection can become dry, transactional, and eventually brittle. We forget that joy is not a passive emotion to be experienced when good things happen, but an active, creative force we must nurture and cultivate. The psychological secret is that shared laughter and play are not just a byproduct of good relationships, but a powerful glue that strengthens them. When we laugh together, our brains release a cocktail of feel-good hormones, like oxytocin and dopamine, which are essential for bonding and feelings of trust. This isn't just about finding something funny at the same time. It's about creating a unique language of joy, a private world of inside jokes, silly games, and spontaneous moments of absurdity that only the two of you understand. It's about building a shared history of happiness, a mental scrapbook, of moments where you dropped your guard and simply enjoyed being together. This isn't about being on all the time. It's about the quiet, comfortable moments of playful banter, the spontaneous dance party in the kitchen, or the silliness that breaks the tension of a difficult day. The profound benefit of embracing this secret is the creation of a powerful emotional safety net. When you have a rich history of shared laughter and play, you are better equipped to weather the inevitable storms of life. A moment of play can diffuse a heated argument. A silly face can lighten a tense mood. And the memory of a shared joyful moment can remind you of the love and connection that underlies any temporary conflict. This is the art of showing up for each other, not just in times of trouble, but in times of joy. By making space for lightheartedness, you are telling your partner, "I love being with you. I love who I am when I am with you. Let's not forget to be happy together." You are building not just a life, but a joyful life. And that is a bond that can last a lifetime. Consider a tree in a forest, quietly supporting the vines that climb its trunk. The tree doesn't announce its strength with a loud declaration. It simply stands tall and steady, providing a firm foundation for the vine to grow and reach for the sun. The vine doesn't need the tree to say, "I am here for you." It feels the unwavering support in the very texture of the bark it clings to, and in the steady height it is able to achieve. This is a silent, yet profound act of affirmation. The tree affirms the vine's right to grow and flourish simply by being a constant, reliable presence. It is an unburdened, unconditional form of support, where worth is not earned through a grand gesture, but simply exists through a quiet, consistent action. The vine thrives not because the tree tells it to, but because the tree allows it to. Our human relationships often miss this quiet power. We are conditioned to believe that affirmation must be loud and explicit. We wait for compliments, for grand declarations of love, and for verbal reassurances that we are valued. And while these are beautiful and necessary, they are only one part of the story. The problem arises when we become so fixated on the words that we fail to notice the countless, silent acts of affirmation happening around us every day. We miss the partner who makes our coffee exactly the way we like it, without being asked. The friend who remembers a small detail about our life and brings it up in conversation, or the loved one who simply sits with us in silence. Their presence a quiet, solid testament to their care. We become deaf to the powerful, unspoken language of love, always waiting for a voice when there is a symphony of small actions playing all around us. The psychological secret is that unspoken affirmation speaks louder than words, confirming a person's worth through consistent, nonverbal cues and small acts of kindness. This is the art of showing, not just telling, that you care. It is the practice of noticing the little things, the way a partner lights up when they talk about their passion, and then surprising them with a book or a tool related to that passion. It is the choice to put your phone away and give someone your undivided attention. An action that says, "You are the most important person in my world right now." These are acts of deep observation and quiet service. They don't require a special occasion or a dramatic moment. They are the small, daily deposits in the emotional bank account of a relationship that build a wealth of trust and affection over time. The transformative benefit of embracing this secret is the creation of an unbreakable sense of security. When someone consistently affirms your worth without being asked, it bypasses the part of your brain that is always seeking external validation. It confirms your value on a much deeper, more fundamental level. It feels not like a compliment you have to earn, but like a fact that is simply understood. This allows a person to stand tall and grow, just like the vine, knowing they have a steady, reliable support system no matter what. This kind of unspoken love builds a foundation of profound respect and mutual understanding. It moves a relationship beyond words and into a realm of deep, soul-level connection, where simply being in each other's presence is enough to know you are cherished. This is the quiet, powerful magic of truly seeing and valuing another person in their everyday life. In a healthy forest ecosystem, there is a constant, subtle dance of giving and receiving. The sun gives light to the leaves, which in turn provide nourishment for the roots. The roots draw water from the earth, which gives life to the entire tree. When the leaves fall in autumn, they don't simply vanish. They return to the earth, decomposing to enrich the soil for new growth. This is not a transaction with a scorecard. It is a fluid, continuous cycle of support. There is no sense of debt or obligation, just a natural, harmonious exchange where every element plays its role, ensuring the vitality and sustainability of the entire system. Each part contributes to the health of the whole, and in doing so, receives the support it needs to thrive. The rhythm is one of natural balance and mutual nourishment. Our human relationships can often become imbalanced, and in doing so, they lose this natural rhythm. We fall into a trap of either scorekeeping or self-sacrifice. The scorekeeper in EOS meticulously tracks every favor, every sacrifice, and every act of kindness, building up a mental tally of who owes whom. This transforms a relationship into a business arrangement where every interaction is a calculation and love becomes a form of currency. On the other hand, the self-sacrificer in us gives endlessly without asking for anything in return, believing that true love means putting the other person's needs first, always. While this may seem noble on the surface, it often leads to resentment, burnout, and a deep-seated feeling of being taken for granted. In both scenarios, the natural flow of giving and receiving is broken, and the relationship, like a tree in an unhealthy forest, begins to wither. The psychological secret is that a healthy relationship thrives on a natural, balanced rhythm of reciprocity. This isn't about tit for tat. It's about a mutual, generous exchange where both partners feel seen, valued, and supported. It's the feeling that you are both rowing the boat in the same direction, each taking a turn at the oar. Reciprocity means that on a difficult day, one person offers comfort and support, and on another difficult day, the roles are reversed. It's the subtle, ongoing understanding that both people are committed to the well-being of the other. It means that while one person may be carrying a heavier load at a certain time, perhaps due to work stress or a personal challenge, the other person willingly steps up. And there is a quiet, confident knowing that when the tables turn, the support will be there for them as well. The profound benefit of embracing this rhythm is the creation of a powerful sense of security and equity. When a relationship is built on balanced reciprocity, there is no need for scorekeeping or silent resentment. Both individuals feel that their contributions are valued and that their needs are important. This creates an environment where love is not a transaction, but a shared responsibility and a source of mutual enrichment. It allows a relationship to be dynamic and adaptable, capable of shifting to meet the needs of the moment without breaking. This is how a partnership becomes truly a partnership, a symbiotic relationship where the growth and happiness of each individual contributes to the overall strength and longevity of the connection. It is in this beautiful, natural dance of giving and receiving that a relationship finds its true and lasting stability. Observe the mighty oak tree, its branches reaching out, not touching each other, but creating a canopy that covers a wide expanse of forest floor. Each branch grows in its own direction, seeking its own sunlight and its own unique path upward. If the branches were to intertwine and restrict each other, they would eventually stunt each other's growth, blocking the very sunlight they need to thrive. Instead, the tree's strength comes from the fact that each part is a distinct and independent unit, connected at the trunk but free to explore its own potential. The tree is not a singular, monolithic entity. It is a unified whole, made of many independent parts, and its grandeur comes from the courage of each branch to grow into its own space without fear. It is in this beautiful separation that the tree achieves its greatest height and breadth. This natural wisdom is often lost in our most intimate relationships. We are taught to believe that love means merging, that to be a couple means to become one, and that our individual identities must somehow dissolve into a shared identity. In our fear of losing connection, we often cling too tightly. We might unconsciously discourage a partner's solo hobbies, feel threatened by their individual friendships, or even resent the time they spend alone. This constant pressure to be together, to do everything as a pair, creates a claustrophobic environment that eventually suffocates the very spark that brought us together in the first place. The relationship becomes a cage, and the individuals within it lose their sense of self, their passions, and their personal growth. The very thing we are trying to protect, the connection, begins to feel like a burden rather than a source of joy. The psychological secret is that creating space is not a sign of distance. It is a foundation for growth. It is the courage to trust that your connection is strong enough to withstand periods of beautiful, separate exploration. This means encouraging your partner to pursue their individual passions, supporting their friendships outside of the relationship, and honoring their need for solitude. It is the understanding that a person's inner world, their personal journey, and their identity are their own to cultivate. By giving your partner space to grow, you are not pushing them away. You are telling them, through your actions, I love you so much that I want you to become the most magnificent version of yourself, even if that journey sometimes takes you on a path separate from mine. This act of trust and respect is one of the most powerful expressions of love a person can give. The transformative benefit of embracing this secret is the cultivation of a relationship that is not just codependent, but truly interdependent. When each person is a whole, complete individual, they come back to the relationship, not from a place of neediness or lack, but from a place of fullness and abundance. The space you create for each other allows you to return to each other with new stories, new insights, and a renewed appreciation for the person you have chosen to walk alongside. The time spent apart enriches the time spent together. You become two strong, independent trees standing side by side, their branches not intertwined and tangled, but creating a beautiful, unified canopy that provides shade and strength to both of you. This is how a relationship becomes a source of empowerment, not a source of limitation. In nature, the forest floor is a testament to the power of forgiveness. When a mighty tree falls, it doesn't leave a permanent wound in the ecosystem. Instead, over time, the fallen log becomes a host for new life. It slowly decomposes, returning its nutrients to the soil. Moss and fungi grow on its surface, and new saplings take root within its decaying wood. The once mighty tree, in its death, provides the very foundation for the next generation of life. This process is a quiet, powerful act of transformation. The old is not simply forgotten, it is integrated into a new cycle of growth, turning what was once a site of loss into a cradle of new beginnings. This is nature's profound lesson on how to release the past without erasing it. Our human relationships, however, often struggle with this process. When we are hurt, we have a tendency to hold on to that pain like a heavy stone. We rerun the events, re-feel the anger, and re-solidify the injustice, believing that holding on is a way to protect ourselves from being hurt again. We confuse forgiveness with forgetting, and we fear that to forgive is to let the other person get away with it. This stubborn refusal to let go of a past wrong creates a toxic emotional environment, a kind of internal pollution that seeps into every interaction. The hurt we carry becomes a wall between us and the person who caused it, making true intimacy impossible. We may be physically present with them, but emotionally, we are still standing in the past, replaying the moment of pain. The psychological secret is that forgiveness is not an act you do for the other person. It is an act of liberation you perform for yourself. It is the conscious decision to drop the heavy stone of resentment and to stop letting a past event control your present emotions. This doesn't mean you have to forget what happened or pretend that the hurt wasn't real. Instead, it is the process of choosing to transform that pain. It's the courageous act of looking at the wound, acknowledging its existence, and then intentionally beginning the process of healing. This might involve a conversation where you express the pain you felt, not to blame, but to be understood. It might involve simply making the internal decision to let go of the anger. Forgiveness is not a single moment of amnesty. It is an ongoing, gentle alchemy that transforms your pain into wisdom and your resentment into peace. The profound benefit of embracing this secret is the liberation of your heart and the resurrection of your relationship. When you choose to forgive, you open a pathway for deeper understanding. You allow the relationship to move forward, not by ignoring the past, but by integrating it as a part of your shared history. The hurt becomes a testament to the relationship's resilience, a scar that shows you have both overcome something difficult together. Forgiveness allows for the possibility of a new beginning, a chance to rebuild trust and connection on a stronger, more honest foundation. It is in this act of releasing the past that you and your partner can truly step into a shared future, leaving the weight of yesterday behind and embracing the potential for a deeper, more resilient love. Consider the migration of a flock of birds, all moving in the same direction, toward a destination that is not yet visible, but is known deep within their collective instinct. Each bird is an individual, with its own unique flight pattern and place in the formation, yet they are all united by a single, shared purpose. They are not merely flying in parallel, Their combined effort creates a powerful, aerodynamic current that makes the journey easier for every single bird. The flock is more than the sum of its parts because of this shared vision. The individual birds draw strength from the collective, and the collective is only possible because each bird is committed to the same unseen destination. Their shared dream of a warmer home is what makes their difficult, tireless journey possible. In our relationships, we often fail to recognize the immense power of this kind of shared vision. We can get so caught up in the day-to-day logistics of life, the bills, the chores, the children, that we forget to lift our heads and look at the horizon together. We become two separate individuals living in the same space, rather than two souls united on a common journey. Our goals become isolated and individualistic. I want to get a promotion, or I want to save up for a new car. While these are important, when they are not anchored in a collective we, the relationship can begin to feel less like a partnership and more like a convenience. We lose the feeling of being on a team, and the small challenges of life start to feel like a heavy burden we must carry alone, rather than a shared obstacle we can overcome together. The psychological secret is that building a shared vision for the future, a collective we, unites two individuals on a powerful, common journey. This is not about having a perfectly aligned 5-year plan. It's about a mutual, heartfelt commitment to building a life together. This shared dream can be big or small. It could be a vision for a family, a desire to travel the world, a commitment to a common cause, or simply a mutual agreement to create a home filled with peace, love, and laughter. This shared dream serves as the North Star of the relationship, guiding your decisions and reminding you of your deeper purpose when you face a difficult choice or a challenging moment. It's the constant, unspoken reminder that your individual efforts are not for yourself alone, but for a future you're building together. The benefit of embracing this secret is the creation of an unbreakable sense of purpose and meaning. When you and your partner are working toward a shared vision, your individual lives become more enriched and your connection becomes more profound. Every challenge you overcome together becomes a testament to your shared commitment, and every small victory you achieve feels like a step closer to a destination you both deeply desire. This creates a powerful emotional momentum that can carry you through the inevitable bumps in the road. It transforms your relationship from a static state of being into a dynamic state of becoming. You are not just two people in love. You are two architects building a beautiful future together. And that shared creative act is one of the most powerful bonds you can ever forge. In a quiet forest, the sound of a lone bird's song does not simply fade into the air. It travels. A ripple of sound, waves that touches the trees, the leaves, and the very ground. The entire ecosystem is subtly changed by its presence. This is because everything in nature is interconnected, and the vibration of one element can create a corresponding vibration in another. When a musician plays a violin, a skilled luthier will tell you that the wood of the instrument resonates with the strings, amplifying and enriching the sound. The violin doesn't just produce a sound, it becomes a living echo chamber for the music, transforming a simple vibration into a profound melody. It is this capacity to resonate with and amplify a signal that creates something truly beautiful and moving. Our human connections often lack this beautiful resonance. We hear a person's words, but we fail to feel the emotions behind them. A partner might say, "I had a really hard day at work, and we might respond with the dismissive, "That's a shame," or an immediate, "Well, you should just tell your boss." We are hearing the words, but we are not resonating with the emotional vibration they are carrying. We are treating the person's expression of feeling like a problem to be solved or a fact to be filed away, rather than a symphony to be felt. This lack of emotional resonance can make a person feel profoundly alone, even when they are in a room full of people. They feel like their emotions are falling on deaf ears, like a bird's song that is simply swallowed by the emptiness of a silent space. The psychological secret is that emotional resonance is the ability to be in tune with another person's emotional state, creating a powerful, empathic bond that feels deeply validating. This is the practice of listening not just with your ears, but with your entire being. It means when your partner says they had a hard day, you don't jump to advice. You allow yourself to feel the echo of their frustration or sadness. Your response might be as simple as a quiet, "That sounds awful," or a gentle touch on their shoulder. You are not trying to fix their emotion. You are simply witnessing it and letting them know that it has been received and validated. This is the difference between hearing a song and feeling its rhythm in your own heart. It's the courageous act of allowing another person's inner world to touch your own, without judgment or the need to control it. The benefit of embracing this secret is the creation of a profound sense of emotional intimacy and safety. When a person feels that their emotions are resonating with you, that their joy is amplifying your own joy, and their pain is met with your empathy, they feel seen on a fundamental level. This validation is one of the most powerful builders of trust. It tells them that their entire self, not just the logical, presentable parts, is welcome and cherished in your company. It creates a sanctuary where a person can be fully themselves, in all their emotional complexity, without fear of being dismissed or misunderstood. This is how a relationship becomes a source of emotional nourishment, a place where the music of each person's heart finds a willing and beautiful echo in the other. Consider a vast, ancient river as it winds its way to the sea. It does not demand that the landscape change for it. Instead, it flows over smooth stones, carves its path through hard rock, and meanders around ancient trees. The river's power lies in its ability to accept the terrain as it is, adapting its course without fighting against the natural order of things. It embraces the gentle curves and the harsh obstacles, knowing that each one is a part of its journey. The river's serenity comes not from a lack of challenge, but from a profound acceptance of what is. It does not try to be a different river, and it does not try to make the mountains be different mountains. It simply flows, and in that act of acceptance, it creates life and beauty along its entire path. In our relationships, we often fail to harness this power of acceptance. We enter into a partnership with a list of unspoken expectations, a mental checklist of how the other person should be. We love the person as they are, but we secretly believe we can and should change them just a little. We might want them to be more organized, more outgoing, or more emotionally expressive. We become fixated on these flaws, trying to sand down their sharp edges or repaint their personality to better fit our ideal image. This constant pressure to change creates a low-grade friction in the relationship. The other person feels not celebrated, but constantly under evaluation. They feel that your love is conditional, always dependent on them becoming a better, different version of themselves. This struggle To change someone else is not only exhausting, but it is also a fundamental rejection of who they truly are. The psychological secret is that embracing a person for who they are, flaws and all, is the bedrock upon which unconditional love is built. This is the courageous act of choosing to see the other person not as a project to be fixed, but as a masterpiece to be appreciated. It means releasing your own expectations and embracing their unique personality, their quirks, their past, and their present. This doesn't mean you have to condone destructive behavior or tolerate a lack of respect. Acceptance is not the same as passivity. Instead, it is the profound understanding that a person's inherent worth and your love for them are not tied to their ability to be perfect. Acceptance is the quiet, daily choice to let the other person be who they are and to build a life with that person, not with the person you wish they could be. The profound benefit of embracing this secret is the creation of a deeply peaceful and secure relationship. When a person feels truly accepted, they can finally put down their armor. They no longer have to perform, to pretend, or to hide the parts of themselves they fear are unlovable. This creates a sanctuary where a person can be fully themselves, in all their glorious messiness. This freedom allows them to relax, to grow naturally, and to show up authentically. When you are with someone who truly accepts you, you stop spending energy on defending yourself and start directing that energy toward loving them in return. This is how a relationship becomes a source of profound comfort and safety, a quiet harbor in a world that often demands we be someone we're not. This is where a relationship truly becomes a home. In the heart of a Japanese garden, a master gardener carefully prunes a beautiful bonsai tree. They do not hack at the branches with aggression or force. Instead, with a delicate hand and a pair of sharp shears, they make small, precise cuts. The gardener's intention is not to diminish the tree, but to guide its growth, to encourage its unique form, and to ensure its long-term health. Each cut is an act of deep respect, rooted in the understanding of the tree's potential. The bonsai does not fight this process. It responds by redirecting its energy, growing stronger and more beautiful as a result. The correction is not a punishment, but a gentle, loving act of guidance that honors the tree's nature while helping it achieve its most magnificent form. In our human relationships, we often forget this gentle wisdom. When we see a flaw or a behavior in our partner that we find challenging, we often approach it with the emotional equivalent of a heavy axe. We criticize, we judge, we get defensive, or we launch into a tirade of all their past mistakes. Our intention might be to help them or to fix a problem, but our delivery is often an attack. When someone feels they are being attacked, their natural psychological response is to put up their defenses. They stop listening, they become defensive, and they begin to view you, not as a loving partner, but as an adversary. The correction, no matter how well intended, is lost in a whirlwind of emotional chaos, and the relationship suffers from the very attempt to improve it. The psychological secret is that effective correction is an act of loving guidance, not criticism. It is the choice to approach a difficult conversation with the same gentle wisdom as a gardener with their bonsai. This is a skill that requires both courage and vulnerability. It begins with the courage to approach a difficult topic, and it continues with the vulnerability to frame the issue not as a flaw in the other person, but as a challenge to your shared dynamic. This might sound like, "I've been feeling a little disconnected from you lately." and I was wondering if we could talk about it, rather than, "You've been so distant recently." This method focuses on the we of the relationship, not the you of the accusation. It honors the other person's worth while still addressing the issue. The benefit of embracing this secret is the transformation of conflict from a destructive force into a catalyst for growth. When your partner knows that you are approaching a difficult topic with love and respect, their defenses drop, and they are more open to truly hearing what you have to say. They are more likely to see the correction not as an attack on their character, but as a loving attempt to improve the health of the relationship you both share. This creates a powerful cycle of constructive dialogue and mutual understanding. It allows both of you to grow, not out of a fear of being judged, but out of a desire to become better partners for each other. This is how a relationship becomes a safe space where difficult truths can be spoken with kindness, and where even the most challenging conversations can lead to deeper connection and respect. Consider two ancient trees standing side by side in a dense forest. Their branches may not touch, and their leaves may rustle in different rhythms. Yet beneath the earth, their roots are intricately intertwined, sharing nutrients and information through a complex network of fungi and filaments. They stand together in a profound, comfortable silence, a silence that is not empty, but full of a deep, living connection. This silence is a testament to their mutual trust and their shared history. They do not need to speak to know the other is there. Their bond is a given, a quiet, unshakable reality. In this shared silence, they simply exist, a powerful and serene unit. Their strength drawn from their fundamental, unspoken connection. In our human relationships, we often fear silence. We feel an unspoken pressure to fill every pause with conversation, with a question, with a sound. We worry that silence means the connection has run dry, that there is nothing left to say, or that the other person is bored or unhappy. We fill our shared spaces with the constant noise of television, podcasts, or our own restless thoughts, creating a barrier between ourselves and the quiet power of simply being present with another person. This fear of silence is a fear of true intimacy, a fear that if we stop performing, if we stop talking, we will find an emptiness in the connection that we don't want to confront. We are so busy trying to prove the connection exists that we fail to simply rest in its reality. The psychological secret is that a comfortable, shared silence is a true measure of intimacy, a space where words become unnecessary. This is the moment when you know, without a doubt, that you are not just two individuals coexisting, but two souls truly connected. It is the ability to sit together on a couch, reading separate books, with a feeling of profound peace. It is the quiet drive in the car, where neither person feels the need to speak, but both feel the warmth of the other's presence. This kind of silence is not an absence of connection. It is a testament to its depth. It says, "I am so comfortable and secure in your presence that I don't need to entertain you, to impress you, or to fill the air. I can simply be me, and I know you will be there with me." The profound benefit of embracing this secret is the cultivation of a relationship built on a foundation of unshakable security. When a comfortable silence becomes a part of your relationship, you stop seeking external validation and start drawing strength from the connection itself. It frees you from the pressure to constantly perform and allows you both to simply exist in a state of mutual acceptance. This is where you find the true rhythm of a life shared. A beautiful dance between talking and listening, between activity and stillness, between being together and simply being. This shared silence is not empty. It is a sacred space, filled with all the unspoken love, trust, and history that has been built between you. It is the sound of two hearts beating in perfect, serene harmony. Consider a riverbank after a heavy storm. The river has overflowed, causing damage and leaving behind debris and mud. To heal the land, it is not enough for the river to simply recede. The land itself needs time and careful restoration. The river must return to its proper course, and then, with its gentle, steady flow, it helps to wash away the mud and nourish the newly exposed earth. This process of restoration is a profound and authentic apology from nature. It doesn't pretend the damage never happened. It acknowledges the chaos and then, with consistency and a change in behavior, it begins the long, patient process of healing and restoring the land to its natural balance. The river's apology is a commitment to a new way of being, not just a momentary expression of regret. In our relationships, we often fail to recognize this profound truth. When we have hurt someone, our instinct is to offer a quick, almost transactional, "I'm sorry." We say the words, hoping they will act like a magic spell that makes the problem disappear. We might say, "I'm sorry you feel that way," which is not an apology at all, but a way of deflecting responsibility. Or we might say a hurried, "I'm sorry. Can we move on now?" which is a clear indication that our primary goal is to alleviate our own discomfort, not to truly heal the other person's pain. These hollow apologies are like the river simply receding. They may stop the immediate damage, but they do nothing to restore the land. They leave the other person feeling unheard and invalidated, and they erode the trust that is so essential for a lasting connection. The psychological secret is that an authentic apology is a gateway to healing and renewed trust, not an admission of defeat. It is a two-part process that begins with a genuine expression of regret and is followed by a change in behavior. The first part involves three key elements acknowledging the specific hurt you caused. "I'm sorry that my words made you feel so small." Taking full responsibility without any excuses. "There is no excuse for what I said, and I was wrong." And expressing empathy for the pain you caused. "I can only imagine how much that must have hurt you." This part of the apology is about honoring the other person's reality and validating their experience. It is the act of stepping into their pain, not to fix it, but to simply witness it with them. The second and most crucial part of the apology is the commitment to a change in behavior, which is the true apology from the river. This means having an honest conversation about how you will prevent a similar hurt from happening in the future. It's the action that proves your words are sincere. The benefit of embracing this secret is the transformation of a moment of conflict into an opportunity for growth and deeper connection. An authentic apology doesn't just patch a crack. It makes the foundation stronger. It tells your partner, "I value our relationship more than my own pride." It shows them that you are willing to take responsibility for your actions, that you are committed to their emotional safety, and that you are a person who can be trusted to learn and to grow. This is how a relationship becomes resilient, capable of not just surviving conflict, but of thriving in the aftermath, stronger and more connected than before. In the quiet depths of the ocean, a mother whale gently nudges her calf with her massive body. a silent communication of protection and love. On the forest floor, a squirrel grooms its mate, a simple, repetitive gesture that builds social bonds and reinforces a sense of belonging. Throughout the animal kingdom, touch is a fundamental, primal language that requires no words. It is the language of comfort, of safety, and of connection. These creatures are not thinking about the psychological benefits. They are simply responding to an innate need to feel and to be felt. The touch is a direct line from one living being to another, a powerful confirmation of presence and care that bypasses all logic and goes straight to the heart of a shared existence. For human beings, this ancient language of touch is often lost in a modern, fast-paced world. We become so preoccupied with our digital lives and our intellectual conversations that we forget the simple, profound power of physical connection. We may communicate with our partners through texts, emails, and spoken words, but we neglect the essential nonverbal affirmation that touch provides. We save physical intimacy for specific, often sexual moments, forgetting that the real power of touch lies in its daily, ordinary forms. A hand on the back as you walk by, a gentle squeeze of the hand during a difficult conversation, or a long hug at the end of a tiring day. These are the small, daily acts of physical connection that are the emotional oxygen of a lasting relationship. The psychological secret is that a simple, non-sexual touch can communicate comfort, care, and belonging more powerfully than 1,000 words. This is because touch is processed in a part of our brain that is ancient and deeply connected to our sense of safety and security. When we receive a loving touch, our bodies release oxytocin, often called the cuddle hormone, which promotes feelings of trust, bonding, and well-being. This is not a grand romantic gesture. It is a fundamental act of emotional regulation. A hug can calm a racing heart. A hand on the knee can soothe a moment of anxiety. And holding hands can create a powerful, silent bond that reinforces your unity in the face of the world. These small moments are not just a nice addition to a relationship. They are a vital, necessary part of its health and longevity. The profound benefit of embracing this secret is the creation of a powerful emotional safety net. When touch is a regular, natural part of your relationship, it creates a constant, unspoken sense of security. It tells your partner, on a biological level, that you are a safe person, that they are not alone, and that they are cherished. This kind of physical connection acts as a nonverbal anchor during times of conflict and stress. In a heated argument, a gentle hand on the arm can sometimes de-escalate the situation faster than any carefully chosen words. It reminds you both of the love and connection that underlies the temporary discord. By re-engaging with this primal language, you are not just building a relationship with your words. You are building a deeper, more resilient bond with your hearts and with your bodies. Consider a vast, beautiful garden where different species of plants grow in harmony. The gardener knows that each plant has its own unique needs for sunlight, water, and space. They do not plant a sun-loving rose bush in the shade of a towering oak, nor do they allow aggressive ivy to choke out a delicate fern. Instead, they use small, almost invisible borders, a stone path here, a low hedge there, to give each plant the room it needs to thrive. These boundaries are not a sign of separation. They are a sign of respect. They allow each plant to grow to its full potential, ensuring that the entire garden is vibrant and healthy. Without these gentle separations, The garden would become a chaotic, overgrown mess, and the individual beauty of each plant would be lost. In our human relationships, we often view boundaries as a form of rejection or a barrier to intimacy. We believe that a true connection means giving everything of ourselves, all the time, without limit. We fear that saying no to a request, asking for alone time, or having a separate hobby will be interpreted as a lack of love or commitment. This fear leads us to abandon our own needs in favor of our partners, to overextend ourselves, and to allow our personal space to be invaded, both emotionally and physically. This lack of boundaries, far from creating a deeper connection, leads to a slow but steady erosion of our sense of self. We become resentful, burned out, and eventually, we have nothing left to give, and the relationship, like an overgrown garden, begins to lose its vitality. The psychological secret is that setting clear personal limits is not a barrier to intimacy, but a foundation for mutual respect and security. A healthy boundary is not a wall to keep your partner out. It is a fence that protects the health of your own garden so that you can show up in the relationship as a whole, happy person. This means being able to respectfully and calmly communicate your needs. I need an hour of quiet time after work to decompress. Or, I love spending time with your family, but I can only stay for a few hours. These are not demands, they are honest declarations of what you need to be your best self. The act of setting a boundary is an act of self-love, and a partner who truly loves you will respect that act because they want you to be a whole person, not just half of a couple. The profound benefit of embracing this secret is the creation of a relationship built on a foundation of genuine respect and emotional security. When a relationship has healthy boundaries, both partners know where they begin and end. This clarity eliminates a great deal of the passive aggression and unspoken resentment that can plague a partnership. It creates a space where both individuals can feel safe and honored, knowing that their unique needs and their personal identities are valued. It allows the relationship to become a source of energy, not a source of depletion. You become two whole, healthy individuals, choosing to walk side by side, supporting each other's growth, and in doing so, creating a relationship that is not just codependent, but truly resilient and beautiful. Consider the ancient redwoods of California, their trunks marked with the rings of 1,000 years. Each ring tells a story, a drought, a fire, a season of abundant rain. The tree does not try to erase its past, it carries it within its very core. Its strength is a direct result of the challenges it has weathered and the periods of growth it has enjoyed. The tree's history is not a burden. It is the source of its resilience and its profound wisdom. When we look at a redwood, we are not just seeing a tree in the present moment. We are seeing a living testament to a long and complex history. And it is this history that gives the tree its gravitas and its beauty. In our human relationships, we often fail to recognize this immense power of shared history. We live in the now, constantly focused on the day-to-day challenges and the future we are trying to build. We might take for granted the journey we have already taken together, the hurdles we have already overcome, and the joyful moments we have already shared. We forget to revisit our own rings, the inside jokes that started years ago, the challenges of starting a family, or the joy of a first trip together. When we stop honoring our shared history, the relationship begins to feel a little hollow, a little rootless. The connection can feel fragile, as if it could be broken by any sudden gust of wind, because we have forgotten the profound strength of the foundation that has already been built. The psychological secret is that actively remembering and celebrating the journey a relationship has taken reinforces a shared narrative and strengthens the bond. This is the conscious practice of looking back, not with nostalgia for a past you can't return to, but with gratitude for the story you have already written together. This can be as simple as reminiscing about a first date, pulling out old photos, or sharing a story with friends about a challenge you overcame as a team. These acts are not just a trip down memory lane. They are a powerful psychological tool. They remind you both that your connection is not a new and untested thing. It is a living, breathing testament to your shared resilience. When you honor your history, you are telling your partner, "Look at how far we've come. We've been through so much, and we've done it all together." The profound benefit of embracing this secret is the cultivation of a relationship with a deep sense of rootedness and resilience. When you honor your shared history, you create a powerful emotional momentum that can carry you through the inevitable difficult moments. A conflict doesn't feel like the end of the world because you have 1,000 memories that remind you of the love and connection that underlies the temporary discord. It reminds you both of your shared values, your shared victories, and your shared capacity to overcome challenges. By celebrating your past, you are not living in it. You are using its strength to build an even more magnificent future. This is how a relationship becomes a living story, a long and beautiful narrative that provides meaning, purpose, and an unshakable sense of belonging for both of you. Consider a flock of geese flying in their distinctive V formation. Each goose takes a turn leading the flock, a position that requires a great deal of effort, breaking the wind for those flying behind. When a goose in the front gets tired, it falls back into the formation, and another takes its place. This is not just a random act of kindness, it's a profound act of shared purpose. They are all working toward the same goal, a warmer destination, and in their shared effort, they create a current that makes the journey 70% easier for the entire flock. The strength and resilience of the flock comes not from any one goose, but from their collective commitment to a common destination and their willingness to support each other on the journey. In our relationships, we can often lose sight of this powerful truth. We become two people living parallel lives, with individual goals and individual challenges. We might be in the same home, but we are flying in separate formations, each of us taking on the full burden of our own lives without the benefit of a shared current. We might be committed to staying together, but our efforts are not unified. When a challenge arises, a financial strain, a health scare, or a difficult decision, it can feel like we are facing it alone, even with a partner by our side. This lack of a shared purpose can make the journey of life feel impossibly heavy, and it can leave us feeling isolated and disconnected, even in the most committed of relationships. The psychological secret is that tackling challenges and working toward a common goal strengthens a bond and creates an unbreakable us against the world mentality. This is the practice of consciously aligning your individual goals into a shared purpose. It's the recognition that you are a team, a dynamic duo, a flock flying in formation. This shared purpose doesn't have to be a monumental task like starting a nonprofit. It can be as simple as deciding to tackle a home renovation project together. working as a team to raise a child, or even committing to a shared health goal. The key is that it's a challenge you face together, a goal you work toward as a unified force. When you tackle a problem as us, the problem itself becomes a catalyst for connection rather than a source of division. The profound benefit of embracing this secret is the creation of a relationship with a deep and abiding sense of resilience. When you have a shared purpose, you stop viewing your partner as a person who is for or against you, and you start viewing them as your teammate. Every victory you achieve together, no matter how small, reinforces your belief in the power of your partnership. It builds a powerful history of success that you can draw on in future times of need. The challenges you face together become a part of your shared story, a testament to your ability to overcome adversity as a team. This is how a relationship becomes a source of profound strength, a sanctuary where you know you will never have to face the headwinds of life alone. Consider a vast ancient forest as it moves through the cycle of the seasons. In the spring, there is a burst of new growth, a vibrant green energy that feels boundless and full of promise. In the summer, the forest is at its peak, full and lush, its life a beautiful and complex web of interconnectedness. But in the autumn, the leaves turn color and fall to the ground, a period of letting go and release. And then, in the winter, the forest becomes dormant, its trees bare, its growth seemingly paused. The forest does not panic during the winter, nor does it try to force a spring that is not ready to arrive. It simply accepts the cycle, knowing that this quiet period of rest and introspection is not an end, but a necessary prelude to the next season of growth. In our relationships, we often lack this profound patience. We enter a partnership expecting it to be a perpetual spring, a constant state of newness and excitement. We become alarmed when the honeymoon phase gives way to a quieter, more routine time. When a period of distance or struggle inevitably arrives, the emotional winter of a relationship, we panic. We take it as a sign that the love is fading, that the connection is broken, and that the relationship is over. We try to force a return to the vibrant energy of spring, pushing for grand gestures or demanding an immediate fix. And in doing so, we only create more tension and strain. We fail to recognize that the seasons of a relationship are a natural and necessary part of its long-term health. The psychological secret is that periods of distance or struggle are not an end, but a transition, a necessary season of rest and introspection. This is the wisdom of trusting the cycle of your connection. It means understanding that there will be times of intense closeness and shared energy. And there will also be times when each of you needs to retreat inward, to focus on personal growth, or simply to rest. This is not a sign of a failing relationship. It is a sign of a mature and resilient one. It's the courageous act of choosing to have faith in the foundation of your connection, even when the vibrant leaves of passion have temporarily fallen away. It's the quiet understanding that the love is still there, beneath the surface, waiting to re-emerge in its own time. The profound benefit of embracing this secret is the cultivation of a relationship that is not just built on temporary highs, but on a deep and abiding sense of stability. When you and your partner can weather the inevitable seasons of change with patience and trust, your bond becomes unshakable. You learn to appreciate the vibrant energy of spring when it comes, but you also learn to find a quiet beauty in the stillness of winter. This allows you to stop seeking constant external validation and to instead find strength in the rhythm of your connection. This is how a relationship becomes a living, breathing thing, a complex and beautiful ecosystem that is capable of not just surviving, but of thriving through every single season of life. Consider a skilled sculptor working on a block of marble. They don't simply chip away at the stone. They look at it with a profound sense of admiration, seeing the beautiful form that is already hidden within. Their work is a process of revealing, not creating. With each strike of the chisel, they are not adding to the stone, but gently and intentionally bringing out the inherent beauty that was there all along. The sculptor's admiration for the material is what gives them the patience and the vision to create a masterpiece. It is this active, intentional focus on the beauty that lies within that turns a simple block of stone into a work of art that can inspire for generations. In our relationships, we often forget to be the sculptor. We enter a partnership full of admiration, seeing the best in the other person. But over time, as the stresses of life and the routines of daily existence pile up, our admiration can become passive. We stop noticing the small, beautiful things that we fell in love with in the first place. We might still love our partner, but that love can become a quiet, taken for granted feeling, rather than an active, intentional choice. We begin to focus on their flaws, on the things that annoy us, on the things that they are not, rather than on the wonderful, unique qualities that they are. This passive approach to admiration can slowly starve a relationship of the emotional nourishment it needs to thrive, leaving both partners feeling unseen and unappreciated. The psychological secret is that actively noticing and appreciating the unique qualities of another person strengthens their sense of self-worth and deepens your bond. This is the practice of being a conscious and intentional sculptor in your relationship. It is the choice to look at your partner every day and find something beautiful to admire. This can be as simple as verbally appreciating their humor, their kindness to a stranger, their resilience in the face of a challenge, or even their ability to make a perfect cup of coffee. The key is that this admiration is not just a passing thought, it is an expressed observation. You are not just thinking, "That was so kind of them." You are saying, "I really admire how kind you were to that person today." This act of verbalizing your admiration is a powerful gift. The profound benefit of embracing this secret is the creation of a powerful positive feedback loop. When you actively admire your partner, you are not only making them feel seen and valued, but you are also reminding yourself of all the reasons you fell in love with them in the first place. It reinforces your own sense of gratitude and appreciation. This practice shifts the focus of the relationship from what is lacking to what is abundant. It turns the relationship from a passive state of being to an active state of becoming. You are both growing in a garden of mutual admiration, and that is a space where your love can flourish. By being the sculptor who sees the masterpiece within the stone, you're helping to create a relationship that is not just lasting, but truly magnificent. In the animal kingdom, playful roughhousing is a vital part of social development. A pack of wolves will engage in mock battles, gently nipping at each other and tumbling in the grass. This isn't a sign of aggression. It's a way for them to establish trust, learn social boundaries, and create a unique language of communication that says, "I am a part of this pack, and I feel safe enough to be vulnerable with you." This playful exchange is a form of social grooming, a way of reinforcing the bonds of the group through a shared, lighthearted activity. It creates a powerful sense of insider camaraderie, a private world where a certain look or a particular playful gesture holds a meaning that is known only to the members of the pack. In our human relationships, we often lose this powerful tool. As we become adults, we are taught to be serious and polite, and we become afraid that a playful jab or a lighthearted tease might be misunderstood as a genuine insult. We become overly careful with our words, creating a polite but sterile environment where a great deal of the warmth and natural connection is lost. We forget that the essence of a healthy relationship is not just in what we say, but in the unique and private language we create together. Without playful teasing, a relationship can feel a little too formal, a little too safe, and a little too predictable. It lacks the special spark that says, "I know you well enough to know what you can handle, and I love you enough to know that this comes from a place of affection." The psychological secret is that a little good-natured teasing, when done with affection, builds a sense of private language and insider camaraderie. This isn't about mean-spirited sarcasm or making fun of a person's deepest insecurities. It is the art of affectionate teasing, a gentle joke about a shared experience, a loving jab about a harmless quirk, or a good-natured exaggeration about a personal habit. The key to this secret lies in two crucial elements: a foundation of deep respect and a clear understanding of the other person's boundaries. A playful tease should always land with a smile on both faces, and if it doesn't, a quick and authentic apology is necessary. This kind of teasing is a form of emotional shorthand, a quick, light-hearted way of saying, "I see you, I know you, and I love all the little things that make you you." The profound benefit of embracing this secret is the cultivation of a relationship that feels less like a partnership and more like a private club. When you and your partner have your own unique language of playful teasing, you create a powerful sense of us against the world. It's a way of affirming your bond in a public setting without having to be overly sentimental. It's the quick look across the room, the shared inside joke, or the gentle ribbing that reminds you both of your unique connection. This is how a relationship becomes not just a source of comfort, but a source of joy and fun. It adds a layer of lightheartedness and spontaneity that can carry you through the heavier moments of life, and it builds a bond that is not just lasting, but truly delightful. Consider a mountain lake, its surface calm and clear, reflecting the sky and the surrounding peaks without distortion. The lake is not trying to be anything other than a body of water. It is simply there, available to receive whatever the world brings to it: the gentle rain, the harsh winds, the soft touch of a sunbeam. Its depth is always present, its capacity to hold and reflect immense. The lake does not judge the sky for being cloudy or the sun for being too bright. It simply holds space for it all. This profound and unwavering availability is what makes the lake a source of life for the entire ecosystem around it. A constant and reliable presence that can be counted on in any weather. In our human relationships, we often struggle to be like the lake. We may be physically present with our partners, but emotionally, we are far away. We are distracted by our phones, consumed by our own worries, or so focused on solving our partner's problems that we fail to simply be there to receive their emotions. When a partner comes to us with their pain, we often put up an invisible wall, protecting ourselves from their feelings by offering advice, changing the subject, or minimizing their experience. We are, in effect, telling them that their emotions are too much for us to handle, or that we are not a safe space to share them. This lack of emotional availability, more than any argument or disagreement, is what can make a person feel profoundly lonely in a relationship. The psychological secret is that emotional availability is the gift of being truly present for someone else's emotional experience, without trying to fix or change it. This is the courageous act of choosing to lower your defenses and to simply sit with your partner in their joy, their sadness, or their fear. This means putting your phone away, making eye contact, and listening with your full attention. It means responding not with advice, but with empathy. A phrase as simple as, "That sounds really difficult," or "I'm so glad you shared that with me," can be one of the most powerful things you ever say. You are not trying to be a hero. You are simply being a witness. You are telling your partner, through your presence, that their emotional world is a safe and welcome space, and that you are there to hold it with them, no matter what. The profound benefit of embracing this secret is the creation of a relationship built on a foundation of unshakable trust. When a person knows that their emotions will be met with acceptance and empathy, they feel safe enough to be fully themselves. This deepens the intimacy of the relationship on a fundamental level. Emotional availability is what transforms a partner from a person you talk to into a person you feel with. It creates a powerful bond where you both know that you will not have to face the storms of life alone. Just as the lake is a constant presence for the world around it, you become a constant, reliable, emotional presence for your partner. And that is a bond that can weather any storm. Consider a traditional ceremony where a group of people gather to perform a series of actions that have been repeated for generations. A tea ceremony, a seasonal harvest festival, a quiet morning prayer. These rituals are not just random activities. They are a sacred rhythm that provides a powerful sense of stability and belonging. They are a way of anchoring the participants in a shared history and a shared identity, reminding them that they are part of something much larger than themselves. The serenity found in these moments comes from the repetition, the predictability, and the deep, unspoken understanding that these small actions have a profound meaning that transcends the ordinary. The ritual is a quiet declaration that, in a chaotic world, there is a constant, reliable rhythm you can always return to. In our human relationships, we often fail to recognize the immense power of these small, shared rituals. We get so caught up in the spontaneity and excitement of new experiences that we neglect the quiet, stabilizing power of routine. We might believe that a healthy relationship is one that is always new and exciting, and we might view routine as boring or a sign that the passion has faded. We fill our lives with big planned events, forgetting that the real glue of a relationship is often found in the small, daily acts we perform together. This lack of ritual can leave a relationship feeling a little unmoored, as if it is floating on the vast, chaotic sea of life, without a reliable anchor to hold it steady. The psychological secret is that creating small, meaningful traditions together builds a sense of stability, comfort, and belonging in a chaotic world. These are not big, elaborate ceremonies. They are the simple, daily rhythms that are unique to your partnership. This can be as simple as having a cup of coffee together every morning before the day begins, a quiet walk after dinner, a weekly check-in conversation, or a shared ritual of watching a favorite show on a specific night. These small acts are not just about the activity itself. They are about the unspoken promise they represent. They are a way of saying, no matter what happens in the rest of our day or our week, we have this small, sacred time that is just for us. The profound benefit of embracing this secret is the creation of a relationship with a deep sense of serenity and security. When you have shared rituals, you are creating a powerful emotional anchor that can ground you both during times of stress and uncertainty. These rituals provide a sense of predictability and comfort, reminding you that there are parts of your life and your connection that are constant and reliable. They become a beautiful, unspoken language of love, a series of actions that say, I am here with you, and I am committed to this life we are building together. This is how a relationship becomes a source of profound peace, a sanctuary where the quiet rhythms of your shared life provide a sense of belonging that is deeper than any fleeting emotion or passing trend. Consider the quiet, unwavering support of the earth for a newly planted seed. The earth doesn't ask the seed for a promise of a beautiful flower or a bountiful harvest. It simply provides the soil, the water, and the nutrients it needs to grow. Its support is unconditional, a given that allows the seed to take its own unique journey of growth, at its own pace, without any pressure to perform. The earth's support is a testament to its belief in the seed's inherent potential. It is a silent, profound act of trust, a willingness to be a constant, reliable presence that allows another living thing to become what it was always meant to be, in its own time and in its own way. In our human relationships, we often struggle to provide this kind of unconditional support. We love our partners, but we often attach unspoken conditions to our support. We might support their dreams, but only if they align with our own. We might be there for them during a difficult time, but we silently expect a quick recovery. We might offer help, but with the subtle expectation that our sacrifice will be remembered and reciprocated in the future. This conditional support, no matter how well-intentioned, creates a pressure on the other person. They feel that they must perform a certain way or achieve a certain outcome in order to earn your support. This can make them afraid to take risks, afraid to fail, and afraid to be fully themselves, because they are constantly worried about losing your approval. The psychological secret is that offering unwavering support, even when you disagree, creates an unbreakable bond of trust and loyalty. This is the profound act of choosing to be the earth for your partner. It means providing the emotional and practical support they need to pursue their dreams and to face their challenges, even when you don't fully understand their path or agree with their choices. This doesn't mean you have to abandon your own values or blindly endorse a destructive decision. Instead, it is the courageous act of saying, I may not understand this path you're on, but I understand you, and I am with you. It is the conscious choice to trust in their intuition and to be a steady, reliable presence in their life, regardless of the outcome. The profound benefit of embracing this secret is the cultivation of a relationship with a deep sense of loyalty and emotional safety. When your partner knows that your support is not conditional on their success or on their choices, they are free to take risks, to grow, and to become the most authentic version of themselves. They stop worrying about failing and start focusing on becoming. This creates a powerful sense of partnership and mutual respect. It says, I believe in you so deeply that I will stand by you even when it's hard, even when it's confusing, and even when you don't succeed. This is the kind of loyalty that forges an unbreakable bond, a quiet, powerful promise that in a world of uncertainty, you will always be a source of strength for your partner. Consider a skilled cartographer creating a map of a distant, unknown land. They don't simply guess at the terrain or draw what they think should be there. They must journey into the land itself, walk its winding paths, and climb its steep mountains. They must feel the grit of the soil beneath their feet and the bite of the wind on their face to truly understand its contours. The map they create is a direct result of their willingness to step out of their own familiar territory and into the unknown world of another. It is this courageous act of exploration that allows them to create a true and accurate representation, a guide that can help others navigate the complex landscape with grace and understanding. In our relationships, we often fail to be the cartographer. We see our partner from our own vantage point, standing firmly on the familiar ground of our own experience. When they express a feeling we don't understand, we try to apply our own map to their emotional landscape. We might say, well, if that happened to me, I would feel this way. Or, you shouldn't be so upset about that. In doing so, we are invalidating their experience and telling them that their feelings are wrong. We are trying to redraw their map to match our own. And in that process, we are creating a profound and isolating loneliness for the other person. They feel unseen and misunderstood, as if we are not even in the same country, let alone the same relationship. The psychological secret is that empathy, the willingness to step into another's shoes, is the ultimate key to understanding and lasting connection. Empathy is not the same as sympathy. Sympathy is saying, I'm sorry you feel that way, from your own safe ground. Empathy is the courage to say, help me understand what that feels like for you, and then to genuinely try to step into their experience. This is the practice of asking open-ended questions and listening without judgment. It is the brave act of putting your own map aside and trusting that your partner can be your guide, leading you through the winding, unknown paths of their inner world. It is the quiet, humble acknowledgement that their reality is valid, even if it is different from your own. The profound benefit of embracing this secret is the cultivation of a relationship that is built on a foundation of deep, mutual understanding. When you practice empathy, you are not just getting to know your partner's thoughts and their actions. You are getting to know their very heart. You are creating a space where they feel safe enough to share their deepest truths, knowing that you will not judge them or try to change their experience. This is what transforms a connection from a casual acquaintanceship into a profound and lasting intimacy. It allows you both to feel truly seen and known, and it creates a powerful emotional current that can carry you through any storm. Empathy is the ultimate act of love. The choice to say, your world is important to me, and I want to understand it. And in that act, you are creating a map that will guide you both for a lifetime. Consider the quiet, unspoken trust that exists between a wise old tree and the birds that nest in its branches. When a small bird flies to a new branch, the tree doesn't wonder if the bird is trying to damage it or if its intentions are malicious. The tree simply provides a sturdy resting place, assuming the best intentions of its tiny, feathered friend. The tree's quiet assumption is that the bird is simply doing what birds do, seeking a safe place to rest and build a home. This generous assumption is what allows the tree to become a sanctuary, a place of peace and safety where a whole ecosystem can thrive. It is an act of trust that requires no words, but creates a profound sense of security for all who come into its canopy. In our human relationships, we often lack this generous assumption. When a partner does something that confuses or hurts us, they forget a small detail. They are late for an appointment, or their tone of voice is sharp. Our first psychological instinct is often to assume the worst. We immediately jump to a conclusion rooted in our own fears and insecurities. They don't care about me. They are intentionally trying to hurt me. Or, they are no longer a good person. This is the psychological trap of the hostile attribution bias, a tendency to interpret ambiguous actions as intentionally malicious. This lack of a generous assumption creates a constant, low-grade tension in the relationship. Every small mistake becomes a source of conflict, and every misunderstanding becomes a confirmation of our deepest fears. We stop seeing our partner as a complex human being and start seeing them as a potential adversary. The psychological secret is that the generous assumption is the transformative power of assuming the best intentions of your partner, even when their actions are confusing or hurtful. This is the conscious choice to pause and ask yourself, is there another explanation for this? Could this be a result of stress, a simple mistake, or a misunderstanding? This practice is not about being naive or ignoring a pattern of hurtful behavior. Instead, it is the courageous act of choosing to lead with trust, not with suspicion. It is the choice to say, I know and love this person, and I will choose to believe that their heart is in the right place, even if their actions have caused me pain. It is the powerful act of giving your partner the benefit of the doubt. Just as a wise old tree provides a resting place without question, the profound benefit of embracing this secret is the creation of a relationship built on a foundation of unshakable trust and security. When you and your partner both operate from a place of generous assumption, you create a sanctuary where mistakes are not seen as attacks, but as opportunities for deeper understanding. It allows for a calm and productive conversation rather than a heated argument. Instead of saying, "You did this to hurt me," you can say, "When you did this, it made me feel hurt, and I'd like to understand what happened." This is the difference between a partnership that is constantly on defense and a partnership that is constantly on the same team. This is how a relationship becomes a place of peace, a quiet harbor where you know, without a doubt, that you are safe in each other's care. Consider a desert flower that has learned to communicate its needs with profound efficiency. It does not rage against the sky for a lack of water or lash out at the sun for its heat. Instead, it turns its petals toward the light, a silent, graceful request for warmth. Its roots grow deep, a patient and powerful way of reaching for the life-giving water beneath the earth. The flower's communication is clear and direct. It doesn't leave its needs to chance or assume that the world should simply know what it requires. It simply and beautifully expresses its needs in a way that allows the world to respond. The flower's strength is a direct result of its ability to communicate its needs without aggression, shame, or apology. In our human relationships, we often fail to recognize this simple wisdom. We are taught to be self-sufficient and to not be a burden to others. We internalize the belief that asking for help or expressing a need is a sign of weakness. And we become afraid of being seen as needy or demanding. Instead of clearly communicating what we need, we often resort to passive-aggressive behavior, silent resentment, or making vague hints that we hope our partner will magically understand. We might say, "I'm fine," when we are not, hoping they will read our mind and ask again. This lack of direct communication creates a profound and frustrating cycle of misunderstanding. Our partner, not being a mind reader, fails to meet our unspoken needs, and we become resentful, believing they don't care. The psychological secret is that clearly and calmly, communicating your needs is a vital act of self-love that allows your partner to truly support you. This is the courageous act of choosing to be a flower in the desert. It is the practice of identifying what you need, be it emotional support, practical help, or a moment of quiet, and then expressing that need directly, without blame or accusation. This might sound like, "I've had a really difficult day, and what I really need is a hug and a few minutes of quiet," instead of, "You never seem to notice when I'm having a hard time." The first statement is a clear and loving invitation for your partner to meet a need. The second is a critique that puts them on the defensive. The profound benefit of embracing this secret is the transformation of your relationship from a source of frustration to a source of genuine support. When you clearly express your needs, you are not just helping yourself. You are giving your partner a beautiful gift. You are giving them a clear and simple way to love you well. This eliminates the guesswork and the frustration of trying to figure out what you want. It empowers them to show up for you in a way that is truly meaningful and effective. This is how a relationship becomes a dynamic and mutually supportive partnership. It is a space where both people are encouraged to be honest about their needs, knowing that in doing so, they are not a burden, but a vital part of a healthy, thriving ecosystem. Consider a frozen lake in the depths of winter. To break the ice and create a path for new life, someone must take the first step. They must have the courage to venture onto the uncertain surface, to test its strength, and to strike the first blow. This act is a moment of profound vulnerability and risk. It requires the courage to be the one who might fail, who might stumble, and who might have to try again. But it is only in this initial brave act that the process of transformation can begin. The path that is created by the first step is what allows others to follow, to build upon the momentum, and to eventually turn the frozen landscape into a flowing, vibrant river. In our relationships, we often wait for the other person to be the first. We wait for them to apologize after an argument. We wait for them to initiate a difficult conversation. We wait for them to make the first move to reconnect after a period of distance. This is the psychological trap of reciprocity. We believe that if we go first, we will be seen as weak, that we will be taken for granted, or that we will be giving away our power. This waiting game creates a profound and frustrating stalemate. Both people are often standing on the opposite sides of a frozen emotional lake, each waiting for the other to break the ice. And in that waiting, the distance between them grows larger and the connection becomes colder. The psychological secret is that the profound psychological shift that occurs when you take the first step toward reconciliation, a difficult conversation, or an act of kindness, is an act of incredible strength. This is the courage to be the one who breaks the ice, not because you are necessarily in the wrong, but because you care more about the health of the relationship than you do about being right. It is the choice to send the first text after an argument, to offer the first hug after a moment of tension, or to be the first to say, "I miss you." This is not an act of surrender. It is an act of leadership. You are not saying, "I lose." You are saying, "I love you enough to risk my own pride for the sake of our connection." This act of vulnerability is what creates a powerful emotional momentum that can pull a relationship out of a difficult rut. The profound benefit of embracing this secret is the creation of a relationship that is not just lasting, but truly dynamic and resilient. When both partners have the courage to be the first, you create a culture of forgiveness, communication, and proactivity. You learn to trust that the relationship is more important than any individual's ego. This is what transforms a partnership from a reactive entity to a proactive one. It allows you to move past conflicts more quickly and to build a stronger foundation of mutual respect and understanding. It is in this beautiful, courageous dance of being the first that a relationship finds its true and lasting flow, turning a frozen lake of distance into a beautiful river of connection. Consider a beautiful, intricate mosaic composed of hundreds of individual pieces of glass, each with its own unique color, shape, and texture. If a single piece were to lose its unique identity and try to become exactly like all the others, the mosaic would lose its complexity and its beauty. The power and impact of the artwork come not from uniformity, but from the fact that each individual piece is allowed to be fully and completely itself. The pieces are all connected, but their connection does not diminish their individuality. It is, in fact, what makes the whole thing a masterpiece. The mosaic's strength is a direct result of the diversity and distinctness of its parts. In our relationships, we often struggle to honor this profound truth. We can fall into the trap of believing that a true, committed partnership requires us to become a single, merged identity. We might unconsciously pressure our partner to adopt our hobbies, our friends, or our way of thinking. We might feel threatened by their individual passions, their need for separate friendships, or their unique perspective on the world. We confuse unity with uniformity, and we fail to recognize that the most beautiful relationships are not about two people becoming one, but about two whole, complete individuals choosing to walk side by side. This pressure to merge can slowly but surely erode the very qualities that made us fall in love with our partner in the first place, leaving the relationship feeling suffocating and bland. The psychological secret is that a healthy relationship is not about merging into one, but about two whole individuals choosing to walk side by side. This is the art of celebrating your partner's individuality as much as you celebrate your shared connection. It is the conscious choice to be an enthusiastic supporter of their personal journey, their unique passions, and their individual growth. This doesn't mean you have to like all of their hobbies or agree with all of their opinions. Instead, it is the profound act of loving and respecting them for the person they are, not for the person you want them to be. It is the understanding that a person's inner world is a sacred space that is theirs alone to cultivate, and that your role is to be a supportive and loving presence on their journey, not to be a co-pilot. The profound benefit of embracing this secret is the cultivation of a relationship that is not just lasting, but truly vibrant and dynamic. When you honor your partner's individuality, you are telling them, "I love you for all that you are, and I want to see you shine in your own unique way. This creates a powerful sense of freedom and emotional safety. You stop worrying about having to be the same and you start delighting in the differences. The time you spend apart, pursuing your own passions, enriches the time you spend together as you return with new stories and a renewed appreciation for each other. This is how a relationship becomes a source of endless fascination and growth. A beautiful and intricate mosaic where the unique brilliance of each piece contributes to the magnificent splendor of the whole. Consider a field of sunflowers, each one a magnificent individual, but all of them turning their heads in unison to follow the sun across the sky. When the sun is at its brightest, the entire field seems to glow with a collective radiance, a shared celebration of the life-giving light. One sunflower's joy in the sun doesn't diminish the joy of another. Instead, it amplifies it. The energy of the field is a powerful, positive feedback loop where the happiness of each individual flower contributes to the overall splendor of the whole. This is a profound natural truth. Joy, when shared, does not divide but multiplies. The radiance of the field is a testament to the power of a shared, positive experience. In our human relationships, we often fail to recognize this immense power. When our partner experiences a victory, a promotion, or a moment of great happiness, our first instinct is often to focus on our own feelings. We might feel a subtle pang of envy, a sense of, why not me? Or a worry that their success will change them, or change the relationship. We might offer a quick, almost obligatory, "That's great," but we fail to fully and authentically step into their joy. This lack of shared happiness is one of the most silent and corrosive forces in a relationship. When one person's light is not celebrated by the other, they begin to dim it, and the relationship, like a field of sunflowers facing in different directions, loses its collective radiance. The psychological secret is that celebrating each other's successes and finding joy in each other's happiness creates a deeply reinforcing positive feedback loop. This is the courageous act of choosing to be a sunflower in a field of many, turning your head toward your partner's light and allowing their joy to become your own. This is not about a grand celebration every time something good happens. It is about the small, daily acts of enthusiasm and genuine happiness for your partner's triumphs. This might be as simple as a moment of eye contact and a sincere, "I am so proud of you," when they come home with good news. It is the choice to be a cheerleader for their dreams and a witness to their moments of triumph, no matter how big or small. The profound benefit of embracing this secret is the cultivation of a relationship with a deep and abiding sense of shared purpose and connection. When you and your partner can authentically celebrate each other's joy, you are telling them, "Your happiness is my happiness, and your success is our success." This creates a powerful emotional currency that strengthens the bond and reinforces the feeling that you are a team. This practice shifts the focus of the relationship from individual wants and needs to a collective sense of well-being. It is in this shared radiance of joy that a relationship finds its true and lasting light, becoming a source of not just comfort and stability, but of profound and beautiful happiness. We have journeyed together through a world of invisible threads and profound insights, a world where the quiet wisdom of nature has been our guide. We began by understanding the power of listening as a mirror, and learned that a still pond can reveal more than a rushing river. we discovered that vulnerability is not a weakness, but an invitation, and that in the echo of our own truth, we find the truth of another. We honored the quiet strength of unspoken affirmation and found that the most lasting bonds are not built on grand gestures, but on the small, consistent acts of kindness that confirm our worth. We learned that relationships have seasons, and that even in the quiet of winter, love is still there, beneath the surface, waiting to reemerge in its own time. We found that healthy boundaries are not a sign of distance, but a foundation for respect, and that the courage to be the first is an act of leadership, not surrender. Each of these 30 secrets, from the alchemy of forgiveness to the radiance of shared joy, is not a destination, but a pathway. They are an invitation to see, to feel, and to connect on a level far deeper than you ever thought possible. These are the tools that will transform a relationship from something you have into something you are, a beautiful and living part of your soul. As our time together comes to a close, I want to leave you with one final thought, a gentle whisper, to carry with you on your journey. The greatest relationships are not a destination you arrive at, but a beautiful melody you learn to play together over a lifetime. Sometimes the notes will be perfect, a soaring symphony of shared joy. Other times, they will be a little discordant, a moment of tension and conflict. But the true art of love is not in the perfection of the sound, but in the willingness of both of you to keep playing, to keep listening, and to keep creating a melody that is uniquely your own. So, I invite you now to step back into your life, not with a checklist of things to fix, but with a new sense of wonder and a renewed appreciation for the intricate dance of human connection. See your loved ones not just as people you live with, but as complex and beautiful landscapes waiting to be explored. Let the wisdom we've shared be a quiet guide in your heart, reminding you to listen with a still pond's patience, to speak with a sculptor's grace, and to love with a field of sunflowers' boundless joy. Thank you for walking this path with me. May your relationships be filled with a love that is not just lasting, but profoundly and beautifully true.